Good evening, everyone. Today is July 23rd, 2026. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Anna Braun.
Here.
Timothy Cummings.
Here.
Antonetti Vola.
Here.
Jamie Falco.
Here.
Louis Figueroa. Lori Herrick.
Here.
Lee Woo Hung.
Here.
Wilbur Pan.
Here.
Mary Ann Tanios.
Here, we have a quorum. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the East Brunswick Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted at the Board of Education offices located at 760 Route 18, East Brunswick, New Jersey. Notice was provided on the district's website at www.ebnet.org under the Legal Notices hyperlink. Written notice was also provided to the Newark Star Ledger, the Home News Tribune, the Alternative Press of East Brunswick, and the Municipal Clerk of East Brunswick. All Board of Education meetings, with the exception of executive session discussions, are videotaped for later broadcast. It is the policy of the Board of Education that videotaped meetings are not edited for any purpose. Individuals who speak at the board's public meeting should be aware of these videotaping rules. Okay, we have a need for a closed session. Whereas the Board of Education must discuss matters which are not appropriate for discussion in a public meeting, and whereas these subjects are within the exceptions to the Open Public Meetings Act and are permitted to be discussed in closed session pursuant to NJSA 10-4-12B, and whereas the Board of Education intends to discuss matters as listed in the agenda, whereas the length of the closed session is estimated to be 1 hour, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and action will be taken, now therefore be it resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education will recess into closed session for only the aforesaid subjects, and be it further resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education hereby declares that its discussion of the aforesaid subjects will be made public at a time when the public's interest in disclosure is greater than any privacy or governmental interest being protected from disclosure in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Do we have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Over and Jamie. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, we are in closed. See you in 1 hour. Okay, good evening. We are back from closed session. Before we begin, Dr. Figueroa extends his apologies for not being able to join us tonight. He had another obligation. And then we are jumping right into our superintendent's report.
Good evening. I hope everyone's enjoying their summer. We certainly are. This summer's extended school year program is up and running beautifully. Over at Hammersholt Upper Elementary School, Chris Casal is doing a fantastic job keeping everything organized, and Rory Murray is having a great time with our younger students at Memorial. Rory is a high school teacher, so he told me how much fun it is working with the little ones for 6 weeks. The students have settled right into their routines, especially the students transitioning from the elementary schools into Hughes. The Orton instruction is being provided smoothly, and the feedback from everyone has been incredibly positive. You know, the board has supported our Orton training of our teachers, so it's really good to see it in action. And then we have the community programs, Early Learning Academy, Kindergarten Readiness, and first grade here with camps continue to provide engaging, hands-on learning experiences that help children maintain academic skills while preparing for a successful school year. It's so much fun. I go there and I don't want to come back to the office. Have you seen kids doing yoga? Like, if you see kindergartners doing yoga, you see that it's a sight to behold. So each week, the campers explore a new theme that integrates literacy, math, science, creativity, and social emotional learning. Themes have included camp friends and summer fun, all about me and friends, buildings, vehicles, and STEM, and around the world discoveries, which gives our children opportunities to learn, build friendships, and create lasting summer memories. Enrichment has been a highlight with Spanish, yoga, International Days, Kids Art, Math Science, and Girls Karate, along with special visits from the East Brunswick Police Department and the East Brunswick Recreation Department, which presented an engaging water safety program. Summer fun has also included water play days with sprinklers, ice cream, and ice pops. As we head into the final weeks of camp, campers are looking forward to visits from the East Brunswick Fire Department, Carnival Day, and celebrating a wonderful summer together with an end-of-session pizza party. Throughout the summer, our supervisors have facilitated a wide range of professional learning workshops and curriculum planning sessions to strengthen our instruction and enhance student learning across all grade levels. I've had the opportunity to join a few sessions to see that in action, because if you remember, this was my promise, right? That we were going to approach our literacy instruction plan from a multifaceted approach where we were going to have different types of professional learning and not just a one and done piece. So it was really good to see the small group, the expert groups, planning for the year, CKLA, all of that's happening and will continue till the end of August. So to date, all our staff members have engaged in collaborative work focused on curriculum revisions and program development in math, in science, and world languages, English language arts. I joined the Gifted People today. It was fun. And advanced placement courses as well. So teams have also worked on assessment development and refinement, lesson design, course sequencing, and the creation of innovative new opportunities for students, including acting for film and global artistry. Sounds like a fun course. Professional learning will continue throughout the remainder of the summer as staff prepare for the upcoming school year. Upcoming workshops that still have, that will still come include those on a focus on district priorities, including the science of reading, the K-2 literacy instruction, and intervention programming, curriculum updates in math, science, and world languages, media studies. We're also working on common assessment development, flex program planning, gifted data analysis, and leadership team collaboration. Additional sessions will support new staff orientation, mentor training, and CPR AED certification. So these ongoing efforts reflect our district's commitment to continuous improvement, high-quality instruction, and providing meaningful learning experiences for all students. Personally, I want to thank Kristen Shea. It's her retirement. Her last day is next Friday, but we really wanted to, recognize her. I know I will miss her. She's been such a good sounding board. And she's been in this district for so long, I can't even remember how long. How long has Kristen Shea been here, do we remember? 25 years? So we're going to miss her and wish her a happy retirement. I hope everyone continues to enjoy their summer.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now we have a special presentation. Our district strategic plan is now ready. We have Dr. Michael Salvatore with the Repollet Group, and they're going to present the strategic plan for 2026 to 2030.
Yay. Dr. Sal. Welcome.
Great. Well, good evening, Superintendent, Madam President, board members, the East Brunswick community, and whoever watches online. I know you have some fans that actually log in, including students, what I learned as well. It gives me great pleasure to represent the Repollet Group tonight, along with the president of it, Dr. Charles Ford, and he'll have some comments at the end, but I'm going to walk through because I think over the past 4 months, I fell in love with the East Brunswick community, and a very easy community to really admire. So tonight, we're going to walk through the foundational elements of your planning for the next 4 to 5 years. I'll talk about some moments that I've had with some of your team members here, some of your board members, your faculty, your staff. Everybody had a lot to say in the community, which was pretty awesome. And This plan is not really a plan that a consultant came in and baked up. It is a plan generated from the voices, the hearts, the minds of everybody in the community. There's not a word on here that was a template and said, hey, you should use this. It's the voices of the community, including young children, actually, who were involved with it as well. So let me walk through. I know I have like about 10 or 15 minutes, right? So I will do my best to stay on script too, because this is a beefy plan to set a motion that I think you're going to admire and support for years to come. We rooted it in Bruiser the Bear. The bear thing here in East Brunswick is pretty cool. So when I first came in this room, the steering committee, I saw the bear in the back and I looked up. But what's unique about East Brunswick is all the schools have these bear symbols. So in districts this size, you often see the pirates at one school and something else at another. But here, everybody
Is the bear.
wrapped themselves, their identity around this bear. So we said, why don't we come up with a strong plan, a bold plan that has strength and pride to it, just like Bruiser the Bear. It's funny, the superintendent's like, who's Bruiser the Bear?
I said that.
You know?
I was like, who's that?
Well, I said, take a look at Wikipedia. There it is. There it is. So we rooted it in that, and I believe it is a bold plan because it captures the voice of so many people in the community. So let me tell you how we did this. We started with the steering committee, and I would say there was probably 4 people on there, some rotating in. For board members collectively, you had 3 board members actively involved in your strategic plan at almost every steering session. You don't actually see that often. So I want you to know, amazing. Your superintendent attended every session, wanted feedback sessions after, listening sessions. Really involved, something you also don't see. So I love the commitment from the board. Also, paving the way for me to get into schools and hear the voices of staff and faculty virtually, hear the voices of school administrators and supervisors. But my favorite sessions, although I love working with the steering committee, was getting into the schools and talking to the students. Talking to 10-year-old students who are like, we should do something about the finances in East Brunswick. And 10-year-old student, it was, to me, it was enlightening, but it was an amazing experience to see how involved and what conversations occur across the table in East Brunswick, but also the pride they had for certain activities and events. When I asked questions about programming, when we talked about the arts, students in your middle grades and high school lit up because they feel like this community values the arts. And the elective courses that you're providing at all different levels is a testament to that. So that was actually my favorite part, working with the students, hearing. Now, what you'll see here, we're going to go through a lot of things here, and I'm going to do it quickly. But you're going to see it rooted in core values, 6 core values, that were words that were shared in these meetings. Qualitatively. There are words that came up in our surveys quantitatively, so we incorporated those in here. You'll see those through core values. You'll see those through overarching goals. You'll see those through exemplars in practice. We kind of thought early on it might be presumptuous, but no, let's put out example of something that's aspirational so that everybody can rise to. So we'll walk through that. We have a monitoring plan and some timelines for what to see. So jam-packed, but we're going to cruise through what we can. Yes.
Can you just remind us when this whole process started?
I believe
April.
So early conversations in March.
March.
Yeah, and then April.
May, June, yeah.
April, May, June, July. So. These 6 themes that emerge may be challenging for you, but I hope the board has copies in front of them.
Yes.
Because we'll discuss those. You know your numbers, but I just like to paint a picture at once here. Over 8,000 students. Impressive for me to come in, hear the students talk about diversity in the community, but then actually see your survey come in and see the requested languages of more than 57. 11 schools, super high graduation rate, which you really should be proud of, but also you excel in AP, also in the sciences. Also, in terms of diversity, ranked one of the most diverse school districts. And when I came here, I learned it from the students too, whether this week was a holiday or next week's another holiday. And really, and the students embrace diversity from the fifth graders all the way through the high school. When we talk about what are you proud of, so many students were saying, well, we're a very diverse school district. I mean, it's really cool to see a 10 or 11-year-old say that too, because they actually understood it. So we did have working groups in our steering committees to help form our mission, vision, and core values based upon the words that we heard. This vision and my eyes are not so good tonight, but I would like to read it because I think it is critical.
Do you want to borrow this one?
That we share it with the community. So we in East Brunswick continually challenge ourselves to cultivate curious, compassionate, and confident learners who think deeply, act responsibly, and contribute purposefully to their communities and beyond, so they may lead lives of meaning, service, and positive impact. Something that was talked about with this mission was it's not just about students. It is for students, but we'd like to see it carried out by staff and faculty and admin and our community members, that we all challenge ourselves continually to be curious and compassionate and confident. You mind if I keep this up here? Thank you. So we bulleted them at the bottom about thinking deeply, acting responsibly, all the things we want. This is what East Brunswick's determined to do. So the mission is, what are we determined to do? So this is what your community is determined to do, what your community is determined to produce. With your mission, when you put your mission in motion in a district, then you're able to see the result of it. So the vision is the mission in motion and what we hope to see as a result of doing these amazing things. Your vision for now until 2030 is a united East Brunswick community. That word united came up, and I will tell you, some of our board members are shaking their heads because these are like, well, we need to have this word in there. Mm-hmm. And you can imagine the mission statement is roughly 36 words. I think we deliberated over every single word that was in there. No, certainly needed. We envision a united East Brunswick community of dedicated staff and families, cultivating a challenging, supportive, and inspirational environment. That was a word they were like, well, don't we want to be inspirational? Yeah, absolutely. Where every student achieves their goals, they graduate with purpose and confidence and a deep sense of belonging. When I met with students at the high school, it's really hard for students to articulate belonging, but they were able to do it no problem. When they were talking about Relay for Life events, when they were talking about clubs or activities, even clubs that they created, this sense of belonging, how to pull people in who don't look like them, don't celebrate the same things they do, don't worship in the same place, but the importance of them to get everybody involved, that came out through these student voice. And a deep sense of belonging and the power to contribute meaningfully to society. We felt that's our end goal, right? That's what we want for all of our children. Let's take a look at those core values deeply. So we'll start with care. From the first steering session, when we created a Wordle. So we asked everybody kind of to add through some technology, one word that stood out for the East Brunswick community. And as you know, your community, the people who work here, many of them also went to school here. They love this community. They wanted to come back and give back. And care kept coming up. Well, I think we're caring. I think we demonstrate excellence by caring about students. So it came up over and over again and then the groups defined it as both an expectation and a legacy. That's beautiful right there. That care is not something we dabble in. No, we expect everybody to care about everybody. The exemplar in practice, we did this for each of your core values. So core value 1 was care, is a simple example, welcoming students by name. And this is just simple stuff, but really meaningful. When we talk about an experience for children, it starts when they get out of the door of the car or off the bus before they even walk into school. So welcoming students by name, offering a smile, responding with kindness, so every child begins the day seen and supported. One example of many, many more exemplars to come. When we talk about trust as another thing, this came up, and this one was critical because I think some folks around our table said we have to be rooted in trust because that at times can be questioned. So how do we do that? The definition, I think, is critical to how you become rooted in trust through consistent action by celebrating successes, recognizing the feedback, even if you don't love it, acting with integrity, providing transparency, And this board actually really gets it. From videotaping your meetings to inviting people to come up to student recognitions and so forth. Embracing continuing learning as part of the shared commitment. The exemplar in practice there was when giving or receiving feedback, we engage with good intent. And we use it for constructive purposes. Our words and actions align. Simple. The next piece, which came up over and over again by staff voice, by students, even in our steering committee, was about relationships. It was funny how our faculty members, as part of our steering committee, were talking, well, we are good at relationships. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Share more about that. We build strong relationships by valuing and respecting each member. It's the best way to do it. We recognize that every role contributes to student success, no matter who it is. And that came out in the steering committee. Was like, well, what about the business owner in town? Can they be a contributor? Yeah, they can add to that. We will develop partnerships to ensure that. Does the security officer play a role in that? Yes. Does the secretary? Does the superintendent? And everybody in between. Belonging, which is, I love this as a core value because high school students articulated it, how important it was. You know, East Brunswick's really unique because you have so many clubs and activities at the high school. Actually, like an unprecedented amount. Colleges would love to brag about the number of clubs and activities you have. And the students felt these clubs were essential because it brings about a sense of belonging. Like, what am I here for? I'm part of it. So belonging is not just a feeling or hope students discover. It's a condition created deliberately through equitable access, inclusive design, and zero tolerance for exclusion in any form. That was terminology that we deliberated over back and forth. We're like, well, we can't excuse any form of exclusion in any way. So the exemplar in practice was opportunities exist for all students, staff, families to participate in activities academically and co-curricularly. Again, the zero tolerance for exclusionary behavior based upon anything, race, religion, or diversity, or circumstance. Moving on to our fourth, communication. For East Brunswick, this came up a lot for your steering committee, and it came up in listening sessions. And I think you're trying to do this. You're trying to be more transparent, trying to provide more communication. And you know, that's a two-way street. It's you have to put the message out, but ensure they also receive it as well. Communication is a two-way process built on listening, learning, and sharing. So it's not just broadcast. It's actually developing time to hear what people have to say. Stakeholders receive honest, timely information when their perspectives generally inform decisions. So an example would be what we're doing right now. We went and collected opinions, perceptions, perspectives of thousands of people in the community. This is an example. This is an exemplar in practice. You're coming to a board meeting, sharing what happened as a result of those listening sessions with students and those Zoom meetings with faculty and staff. I'll move on to excellence because this came up over and over again. I keep remembering your high school principal was talking about, I think he was at another high school, a rival high school, and he said, oh yes, East Brunswick was always known for this excellence in the arts and the academics. But you have preserved that. It is your legacy. It's not just a tagline. It is something that you all believe in. So for excellence, it was defined as, it means that every student, this is what we went back and forth to. It's not just for some. They're held to high expectations, regardless of background, circumstance, perspective. But they're also given support to meet them where they're at and to recognize them for the growth that they have along this continuum. I love that you put that together because it wasn't like, okay, we're just going to talk about a specific population, which makes every district proud. I love to recognize your science scores. That's great, but there's other students who don't score that in science, and how are they recognized in some other ways? The exemplar in practice is keeping students at the center of all decisions. Not an easy thing to do, but I think the challenge is for your board and your community here to keep reminding each other of that. Well, how does this impact our students? How does this impact the children in our community? Foster continuous improvement through communication, through excellence, and uphold the highest standards of achievement and accountability, which East Brunswick is clearly known for that. I'll walk through when you put these core values in motion with your mission, and you're starting to see your vision, what we all want, aside from any test results or college applications or any merit or recognition. We want a profile of an East Brunswick graduate that looks like this. That when care is put into place in East Brunswick, we have compassionate and empathetic students who graduate our high school. When trust is put into motion, we create honest and accountable students. When we develop these relationships through our plan, we create collaborative and respectful students. When belonging is a core value, students feel included and empowered and also extend that to others. And then when communication is something you're constantly focusing on and clear that you want to improve, you create clear, confident, and effective students. And last, when excellence is a core value that drives what you do, it allows students to be driven to achieve and to grow beyond high school. I love this portrait of a graduate here for East Brunswick, actually for every community. The most important piece of planning, so we had some laughs and some disagreements at times, and that's what you're supposed to have when 50 people are around a table. But when you put these values in motion, they start with an agreed upon overarching goal. So what the steering committee did, they put words together, and we have overarching goals for each one that's connected. So each specific core value has an overarching goal. The next piece to those overarching goals are this measuring and monitoring process. This is the critical piece where it separates a plan that sits on a shelf from a plan that actually works. It separates a plan that's a digital file or a picture to something in motion. So this process is what happens next, right? So now we've had these great sessions. I love your community. We love each other. What are you going to do next, right? So it's like, okay, we've got to put something in motion to demonstrate that the exemplar didn't take place once on a Tuesday and we're happy with it, right? It's something that we expect, and we do that through action plans, because how you carry out an overarching goal is different from your perspective and your role and position in the district. How the superintendent supports care and communication and excellence is going to look very different than how a security officer does it, an instructional assistant, or a teacher. The action plans would be specific. They would be created in schools, departments, and divisions. You would also have a monitoring plan to support your actions. So it's not just, well, I think we should do this. It's actually a metric connected to that, how frequent these things occur, what's in motion. And the most important piece to your core value of communication is reporting out. So when we make progress on our core values and our overarching goals, the community should know about it in some way. So that is the hard work after this. So we felt it was difficult arguing over language, right, or agreeing over language. But the hard part is actually putting this in motion. And this is the blueprint for it. The individuals create plans connected to those overarching goals. There's a catalog and inventory of strategies to do that. Your strategy as superintendent is going to be different from the security officer's strategy. So the cataloging those strategies and monitor those with one goal is that we continually check to improve. When things aren't working, we recirculate. We may have to add more resources. We may have to recalibrate. But that's how this will look in action going forward. The first year will always be your foundational year. I would tell you this, that you have to sometimes create systems that don't exist. You sometimes have to refine the systems that are here. And sometimes there's unlearning that happens, meaning people learned some things for years that they have to unlearn. So this is year 2026. You're putting this in motion to build that foundation. We hope to get you to 2030 where this is sustainable. Good stewardship is good boardsmanship means, hey, I'm protecting the house. And that's your job. All of you got here because your parents are community members, you have children in the district or had, or just really invested in what's happening here. You want to be good stewards. You want to make sure this plan lives beyond a board presentation. So that is basically all I have here. I will turn it over to Dr. Ford briefly for closing comments, but I do, it was a pleasure to work with you all. I've worked with many communities and different school districts. You have something special here. East Brunswick is a really great place to work, and I'm really excited for what's to come here. So, Dr. Ford?
Hello, for those of you that don't know me, I am Dr. Ford. I am the president of the Repellent Group. I am here today for two reasons. Number one, to support Dr. Salvatore in his presentation, which I thought he did an excellent job. But the other thing I want to do is I wanted to thank you. I've been in education for 27 years. I've been a superintendent for 14 years. I see what a strategic plan does for a district. This gives you your mission and your vision, and now it's up to you to hold people accountable to it. This gives you your guiding light. It helps you continue your educational excellence that has been the pillar for East Brunswick schools. So I hope you continue that, and I want to thank you very much for allowing the Repellent Group to come in and work with you.
Thank you, Dr. Salvatore and Dr. Ford. Any
Remarks?
Yes, of course.
I want to thank you extra. I am a graduate of the East Brunswick school system, and I really see so much of what was important to me and my friends growing up in this strategic plan. I also laughed to myself when you got to the profile of an East Brunswick graduate. I wish you'd put Dr. Tanyus's face because she is exemplary. Everything, all of our core values she embodies. I'm so proud that she's our board president and we have this vision. So thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. That was really nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Questions?
Antoinette?
I want to start by thanking Dr. Mammon for even introducing this to us. This was an amazing experience, and I want to thank Dr. Salvatore for dealing with us, with all those discussions. And we definitely could have went over our time in every single meeting. So I appreciate him keeping us. It was like herding little kittens. As a mom, if I was just moving into the district and I saw this district plan, if I saw this strategic plan on the website, I would be so excited to be starting here.
It'll be on there tomorrow.
Right, no. But as a mom who's here right now, seeing that we're collectively, from the superintendent down to the custodian, we all want the same thing for our children, I think it's gonna be really great. You talked about care, and I just want, as a mom, I'm gonna talk for a second. You said, when you walk into the building and they know your name. When I was a central mom, the security guard there knew everybody's name. And I thought it was so cool that, the security guard knows who we are. But then when I went to Hammersholt and the assistant principal of my daughter's grade knew all of their names, I thought that was cool. But I thought it was even cooler that he knew the names of the students in the other grade that he was not in charge of. And that is exactly what CARE stood for. For me as a mom, I know you care about these kids. So I just wanted to thank you for this presentation, and I really hope that we get there way before 2030, but
Calm down.
thanks a lot.
Anybody else? Oh, Silbert? Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, I also wanted to thank Dr. Salvatore for leading us, guiding us through this process. I've had a little experience doing things like that, not on such a large scale, but I know the amount of effort it takes to keep all of us in line. I was just wondering if we could, just one thing that came to mind when I was listening to the presentation, when we were talking about the annual review. I think it bears pointing out, and maybe I'm wrong, but it bears pointing out that the review can actually happen at any time. Right. Yeah, and the only reason I want to bring this up is because I've seen strategic plans being implemented poorly. And sort of like, and there's always an annual review that's built into it. But what I have seen is it goes into the little hermetically sealed box, and then all kinds of chaos happens. And then a year later, they bring it out, dust it off, and said, okay, well, I think we nailed all the things, and put it back into the box again. I know that's not what we're going to do, but I think this is, I think that's worth pointing out to the community, that this is a living document, something that we're going to be referring to constantly, right?
Yes, and I think you missed, someone talked about progress monitoring, and I would say even now, okay, right? Like what you talked about, how we will measure progress. We're actually working on what a dashboard might look like. Because when you put it out there, we get to hold ourselves accountable. We're not waiting to be told. And I certainly, we spent so much time on this, and it was triple time to do this work that typically takes 6 months to a year. Would you say, Dr. Sal? A year. We did this because everybody was involved, engaged, wanted it, and stretched themselves beyond just showing up, doing the work. We had homework. We had homework beyond the meetings and being able to. So I certainly, with all that work and effort, and with the board, if you remember, this was one of our board superintendent priority goals. Remember, it was like, we will have one so that we'll have a roadmap. So for me, this becomes my goal for the next year. And I could say confidently that we are already working with all of the administrative team. They've seen this goal. We're already talking about how we might operationalize it, what that might look like, but most importantly, how we will measure progress openly. So I'm working on a little something. You'll see it. It's just not ready for Broadway yet. And that way, not just is it for us, but also forward community facing as well. So, stay tuned.
Thank you so much for the presentation. The mission statement is just, I mean, that's where I kind of got stuck. It's just amazing. I'm so impressed with that. I am likely going to steal that and just put my organization's name on it. Cross out EB. But I mean, at the end of the day, it just speaks to, as a parent of 3 children in this community, and an individual with a recognition of like the fact that the people are still struggling here, right? For as much beauty as we have and as much diversity and whatnot, that there are still some folks who are really, struggling too. And how do we cultivate good people and people who will go out into the world and foster kindness and compassion and care and respect and dignity and carry with them, this intelligence as well and this education that is so profound and powerful. So I'm really impressed with this. I guess, and I'm curious about your comments too, is as we continue to kind of go through this and build it, how do we measure, that relationships are actually being built? How do we measure that people are actually treating one another with kindness, that care does exist? And I'm curious by that. And I'm curious, you kind of alluded to it just now, that there's more to come, of course, but do you want to share anything there?
You'll see it, right? Words are just words, but actions, you'll see it, you feel it, you hear about it. We talk about relationships and how would we measure relationships? When kids are able to say, an adult spoke to me today and called me by my name, or what your kids come back and share with you, what you see happening. And we have that. I think one of the things I have found is we've not had a good way of showcasing that because we just keep going like it's our work. And so I think in the absence of knowledge, people make stuff up about us. And what this does, and for us to be forward facing, is really taking control of our narrative. And so that's what you'll see. We will be, there's a reason why we have exemplars added on, so that we start to see where are we seeing those exemplars. And principals are actively working, not just principals, all the department heads, all my cabinet members, everybody. And so when we're all rowing in the same direction that way, you can't help but feel it.
I dig it. Yeah, thank you.
He digs it.
Can I just say one thing, though? That last slide of the graduation ceremony, that it kind of cracked me up. I'm sorry for my sick humor, but the bear, like, in the background, I was like, oh, my God, this is about to be a bloodbath.
That was all Dr. Salvatore.
That was a great, funny image. But yeah, exactly. But thank you for the presentation.
Dr. Salvatore, I just want to thank you and Dr. Mammon. I think we came to our first meeting and had just a great working group that Dr. Mammon put together from all areas of the community, and you jumped right in, right? There was no hesitation. You're like, okay, you're on your phones, you're doing this, like what are we putting up on the board here as to nouns and verbs, Dr. Pan. And so I want to thank you for that, because you were able to just move us along. And I think also what comes from this when we talk about like the district, right, and what we hold our superintendent to, it's also what the accountability that we hold ourselves to as a board, right? When we're passing things and we're looking at our budget and we're looking at the future of our district, does this match the mission? Does this match the vision? Our 6 values that, you know, we put out? And I think it's a guiding light for us too, to just hold ourselves accountable and to always review and just say, you know, is this, you know, is our strategic plan guiding us here? So thank you. And thank you to everyone, you know, the board and everyone in the community and the district staff that came together to do this. It was really great. Thank you.
Anna? Yeah.
As a East Brunswick High School graduate, this makes me so proud. And sitting here with 2 of my colleagues, there's 2 of us, right? 3 of us all together,
I think so,
right?
yeah.
Who all came through the East Brunswick school system. And we cared so much about the school that we came back, brought our families, had our own children go through the school systems, because that pride that we had and the realization of how excellent the school district is. And I know excellence gets thrown around a lot, but when I went to college, which was a very long time ago, however, I was so much better prepared than and I see my colleagues here nodding, so much better prepared than students from other places. And so that, yeah, this is all this community stuff. It's true. And I was lucky enough to have my dream job of teaching in the district that I went to. And it's cool. And one thing that I do have to say also, my favorite line here, this is not a plan that was handed to the community for a reaction. This is a plan the community authored. Do you mind if I say that again? Mm-hmm. This is not a plan that was handed to the community for reaction. This is a plan the community authored, because that makes all the difference in the world. You can hand somebody, here, do this. This is the way things are going to be. Mm-hmm. That doesn't serve anyone's purpose. The fact that you had so many students, staff, parents, all involved with input gives weight and power to this document. And I liked what Dr. M just said about accountability, because things are different now. Can I say, am I allowed
Yes,
to? I'm saying
yes,
it anyway, even
it's
if I'm not
true.
allowed to
It's
say
true.
it.
It is true.
Oh, well. Things are different than they had been in the past. I don't remember a 5-year plan. I don't know when the last time one was done. So the fact that we're doing this and we are committed to following through. It's not enough just to throw out, a pretty PowerPoint, but we are all committed to following through on these things that are in this document. Thank you.
Lee Wu. Thanks, Anna.
Dr. Memo and Dr. Salvador, thank you very much for bringing this plan in front of us. I have been sitting here for quite a while, and I didn't see any plan, even similar one. So this is great effort. So thank you, beautiful presentation, and it's so I like the mission, vision, United East Brunswick. We have a lot of challenges now. East Brunswick is very, very diversified. People from everywhere with all kinds of background. At this moment, they have different job, different education, different income. So all kind of different people living here. So we put the United East Brunswick means a lot. It's our vision. No matter what kind of company you are working for, either work for township, work for private organization, business, and school, one East Brunswick. So that is very big but challenging vision. But I like this one. Okay. As Tim mentioned, we have all kind of challenge. People in trouble, people struggling. We, as the board, as the school district, we're taking the lead. We'll try our best to build united East Brunswick. Well, one East Brunswick. We don't have second one. So I really hope everyone living in the boundary of East Brunswick, let's work together for our children, for our community, at the same time for ourselves. Thank you.
Thanks, Liu. Anybody else? Okay, so thank you again. This really was a wonderful experience. I think that you also provided an environment where people could feel like they can say what they needed to say very transparently. As Anna just alluded to, like things haven't always been this transparent or accountable. So it was nice to hear what our staff had to say as board members and vice versa. And that's really what I got out of this is the culture that I would like to grow here, an opportunity to continue to do this. And just to thank you to all of our community and staff members who took time away from their day to do this because, like Dr. Mammon said, there was a lot of homework behind the scenes. I know Ms. Tibbetts had set up a few sessions where we met for hours behind the scenes in our various groups and then came together to do this. So thank you. The one thing, because I know that everybody's seeing 5 years and they're like, it's going to take 5 years to do this. But yeah, exactly. So from experience, it's like there has to be intentionality in starting it. And then it almost becomes second nature. It's not like you have to go back and say like, oh, let me monitor, let me check. It just becomes a part of our identity. It'll be, this is who we are now. So I'm really excited and I'm looking forward to everything that I know you're doing behind the scenes. Yeah. Okay. All right, and nothing else on this, right? Okay. So we are moving on to for the good of the cause for the public. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. To protect the privacy of all students and staff, concerns regarding individual students and staff members should generally be addressed by first meeting with the appropriate administrative staff. Public participation shall be permitted only as indicated on the order of business in Board Bylaw number 0164, and shall be governed by the rules outlined in the agenda. If you would like to address the board, please come to the podium, state your name, place of residence, and group affiliation, if any. You will have 3 minutes duration. If there's anyone wishing to address the board this evening, please come to the podium now. Anybody? Okay, going once, going twice. Public comment is now closed. Okay, so we're moving on to our agenda. Board of Education, items 1 through 7. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Jamie and Wilbur, sorry. Okay, discussion? Antoinette?
I'd like to talk about the first one for bylaws and policies. For 2415.58, the Title I School Parent and Family Engagement, it stated that the district representation will occur at the New Jersey Department of Education meetings, but it didn't state who would be the one who represents the school district. So who would be attending those? Do you know?
Where is that? What page is that on?
It's it's policy number 2415.58.
Oh, at the NJDOE
Right.
meetings? I attend meetings.
Okay, so you'll be going? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And then I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Joe for 6163. For those of you who are out there and can't see what that is, at our very first board meeting, when Joe was, our very first budget board meeting, Joe was talking about where we're going to create revenue, and I had suggested to him, like I did many years before I got on this side of the table, for us to look at other avenues for advertising, and it was always a pushback, and I just said it one time too, Joe, $1 is more than $0, and I'm very excited when I read this, So this is advertising on school property, and this would have not been moved forward if it wasn't for you and your team, so I wanted to thank you for getting this. I don't know if you're allowed to say what's in the process, I don't know.
So, I mean, I think Jamie also, even prior to you getting on, had a bunch of ideas of raising money, some traditional, some very extreme. But I think.
You know, if it wasn't for the insurance costs.
Yeah. So the first step in this process, when researching, we realized we didn't have a policy, so get that adopted. And then we went out and started looking for companies to do the advertising and control it, and then we receive the revenue instead of a district staff person going door to door. So there are some companies out there, more along the shore, that are looking to get into Middlesex County. So I think there's an opportunity. We'll do an RFP and see to ensure that we're getting the best rate of return, and do something that matches what East Brunswick is about. We're not going to just go crazy and do crazy advertisement and whatnot, but we'll do it the right way, and hopefully bring in that additional revenue that we're looking at that will help out with our budget issues.
Thank you. For 1523, the policy doesn't prohibit a student from using their own device. So what I'm asking is, a student doesn't want to use a school-issued device. If they have their own device, is the school going to be downloading the software and apps that they need to be able to do their schoolwork? How does that work? Because it's not listed in that.
We don't have bring your own device, do we?
What policy was that? I'm sorry.
7523?
Oh, sorry.
Last one.
Right.
752.
Sorry, I haven't committed all these to memory. And hopefully I can easily find it.
It's in the chat, in the link that you sent us in the email, if you are able to access your email.
7523. Yeah, the changes were more verbiage and dealing with damage, defining wear and tear. As far as the bring your own device, we do not allow bring your device.
Okay,
If
because
a-
it says it doesn't prohibit a student
Right.
from doing it. So you can't not allow it if you don't not allow it, right?
Well, that is true.
So
Usually that though, sorry, usually that's referring to if a student's bringing their phone, it's not that, they're not using that for the laptop with all the programs and stuff on it. So you're not prohibited for bringing a phone. I mean, you have.
Well, you will be, because
Yeah,
the state
but-
said you can.
Yeah, but that's a different. But I think that this policy predates that.
Okay.
Because that's what. Because you guys do you do purchase the Chromebooks,
and
and those are
laptops.
all loaded in by IT. They all connect into your web and your
network and
infrastructure,
whatnot,
and they do have all of the software that's loaded in, including some of the software that sits over top of the school that alerts to, of any harm, etc. that could befall a child.
Do you see it, Joe?
do you recall what number it was? I'm trying to find it.
Like
752, oh, no.
The
I
in the
only
actual
had
policy.
the link that was attached to the email, because I'm not in that
There's-
committee.
There's 12 items on the policy.
Hold on.
Just look at it. It says, so it's in the last sentence of the second paragraph, nothing in this policy prohibits a student from using their own personal technology device in accordance with school rules and regulations. So you would not be preloading it. I guess that's if you had something at home, you could use your own computer at home, you want to do your homework. You're not precluded, but
Okay.
you would still have to comply with the rules and regulations of the school. The
that's
school
true.
device, the technology device is for use in school, so it doesn't preclude you from using your home Apple or something. But in school, you have to use the school issued device.
All right, thank you. And then my last one, which was 1110, is the organizational chart. I like that you guys are doing that now so that people can see the chain of command, but we don't have it listed with names, and I think that that's a struggle parents have more than not knowing who reports to who. It's who are they supposed to reach out to, and there's no names listed there. Is there a reason why we can't put the names?
Yeah, in policy, you don't want to list names because every time there's a change, we would have to
But it
come
will
back
be-
and
it
be
will
read
be-
twice.
Well, when that's shared?
Maybe we can replicate something on our website with the names. At least that's better than,
Yeah.
so with the titles and the names
Right.
to kind of follow the chart.
Thank
I'll
you.
make sure we do that. And that's updated. Did you note that? Slap. Did you note that? Thank you. All right.
Anybody else? Wilbur.
Yeah, this is outside, a little bit outside the, the first reading of, this is the second reading, because my question is also about the org chart. But could we maybe, just put our org chart in context compared to other school districts? The only reason I'm bringing this up is because we've already talked about the budget tonight, and we all know budget is a ongoing thing. And one thing I remember hearing way back when I first thought about getting on the board was that there's like too many administrators. So I just want to see if we can put this into context.
Cannot wait to do that. We did some of that work during the budget. This was when, if you remember in the presentation, we showed you like districts and the number of administrative costs or numbers per, and we were definitely
Lower,
under,
much lower, yeah.
much lower, much lower.
I
But
think
if-
Joe did that. in
Yeah.
his-
Joe did that.
Yeah, when you look at what we spend per pupil on the administrative cost, we're well under the regional limit. We're low compared to other like districts. When you look at the number of students per administrator, we're very high, right? So you want to be low on the cost, high on the ratio. So, it's hard to compare org chart to org chart because like each school district is so different. And from the finance world, I know there's a school district next door where the high school secretary handles all the athletic registrations. To me, I'm like, well, because there's money tied to that. Why would you do that? And that's handled in finance. I know there's stuff that takes place maybe in our guidance department that we do unique here that other school districts don't, so it becomes very difficult because it's not always apples to apples, even though we're school districts. So we go by the cost and what the state gives us as far as our ratios, and we're very favorable with our administrative ratios.
Okay, great. Yeah, I know that we talked about this before, but I think it's a point that bears repeating.
Lilo.
So for the item number 7, so this board is ratify and approve the contract with the EBEA for 3 years. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the teachers, supporting staffs for the beautiful job you have been doing for our children and for this school district and for this entire community. During the negotiation process, your team are so professional, so considerate, so reasonable. I want to thank you, and I believe this contract is fair and reasonable, and I'm looking forward to see your new achievement in next 3 years. Thank you again.
Thanks, Sue, and thanks for chairing that committee.
Can I say something about the contract?
Yes.
So this is my first time as the business administrator doing this. From my perspective, it was very much different than the last 4 or 5 that I've been a part of. I think it's important to recognize the board, just not the committee, but the full board, the superintendent, the work that HR did, the work that finance did, the work that the union did. And it's not just the work to sit across the table and negotiate. It was the work after that, because that was a tremendous amount of work between HR, finance, the union, Tom Hayden, and I don't even know who else from besides Dana and her team. So I have to say, and it kind of aligns to the theme that Anna was saying before. It was very much different. I know there were some stress points. We had a great board meeting one night where a lot of people showed up, but we got past that, and I think that's the important thing. We didn't fixate on that issue. We were able to move forward, find common ground, and really, ratify and come to agreement, and we saved jobs, and that's the most important thing. So, I just wanted to note that.
Thank you.
I have a quick question about my favorite topic. Policy 2365, acceptable use of generative artificial intelligence. So real quick, I mean, I don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but it's Strauss. Who's the group that helps us?
Esme.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm assuming that the language in that is probably standard across other clients of theirs across the state, in other areas. I mean, it is a fascinating world that we're living in as it relates to that and whatever that is and whatever that will evolve into. And I just want to make sure, obviously, that we are doing everything in our power, and I know we are, and I trust we are, to safeguard ourselves, the confidential information, of our people, and all that other good stuff.
Yes, we are. That is correct.
Yeah. No.
That is correct. And Strauss Esme, yes. The policy is similar in some ways. We had a little tweak here and there about just a few things about having an AI coordinator and stuff like that we took out. But beyond that, it's standard. And I think I understand the trepidation about AI, but reality is it's here. It's been here. Everybody's exposed to it. Even you, Tim, you use it. You just don't know it yet. And
I'm not going to deny that.
Exactly. So it would be a disservice for us not to look for ways to be more efficient. But I hear you in terms of the caution. And we have a new CIO. I didn't know, have you met Slavic yet?
Briefly.
Slavic has everything on lockdown here. I can't even get into my own laptop without authentication multiple times. But he was working really hard to safeguard our information and make sure that we don't fall into bad actors' hands. At the same time, we are at the forefront of innovation, and we continue to look for ways to work more efficiently and expose our kids who know so much more about it, so that we do not hide from it, but really learn and teach it so that we know how to use it properly. And it will be a disservice not to do that, but not just for our kids, but for our teachers as well.
Anybody else? Okay. I just want to add that as a high school parent, I can't believe I just said that. I'm a high school parent now. As a high school parent, some high school parents may have received an email about cell phone policy, which is changing, which is a state mandate now. But this policy is not on this agenda because we actually still need to meet as a committee and then a board to discuss that. So you'll see that on next time's agenda. The August 20th meeting. But if you got that email, there's information in there, and I think that's going to be applicable to the entire district pretty much. So we'll have more information to share about that in a future meeting, but yes, that is coming. And again, that's a state mandate, so there's nothing really we can do about it. I know that we previously as a board, our current policy states that they're allowed to use their phones at lunchtime, but that will no longer be the case. It is a bell-to-bell ban, yeah. All right, that's all. Okay, so this is a roll call vote.
Are we doing this one?
All seven.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
All
just
seven.
know which one you want.
Yep.
Anna Braun,
Recuse Number 7, yes on everything else.
Timothy Cummings,
Yes on everything, abstention from number 6, the minutes.
Antonetti Vola,
Yes.
Jamie Falco,
Yes.
Lori Herrick,
Yes.
Lee Woo Hung,
Yes.
Wilbur Pan,
Yes.
Mary Ann Tan.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, business and support operations, items 1 through 34. Do we have a motion?
Move.
Second.
Jamie Wilbur. Discussion? Lori Lindley. Lori.
So first, number 30.
Do you guys want to, okay, so yeah, let's do that since there's
you
so
want-
many of them, yeah. So anything on number 1, 2, 3, just stop me when I call it out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Here.
Liwo. Yeah.
So the item number 1 is a contract with Education Service Center, but this number 14, there's both a similar service provided to our students. Both are paid by participation paid fee. There's no cost for the district. Why do we have those two instead of focus one?
Right. So both of these programs are offered through community programs.
Yes.
We've always offered two. There's some preference with one over the other. It's been a long time since I took the SATs. So it's just a matter of having options, what fits the parent and the student the best. It's important to note that these prices are deeply discounted if you go through community programs. We provide the space for those companies to come in, and then there's a savings to the parents. So it's just choice.
Provide more options for
Yes.
the family and the students?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else on 8? Okay, 9?
Here.
Oh, okay, yeah, me too.
9.
Go ahead.
All right.
Let's Liwu and then Wilbur.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go
Go ahead.
Okay, then I tell first. So this software, apparently it will improve our job efficiency.
Mine.
Okay, just you.
It's mine for now.
For now. So
We
my
don't work
concern
here.
is, if we improve the work efficiency, eventually will it impact our employee number, headcounts?
No, this is really more about, you saw, we talked about our core values of belonging and care and trust. This allows me more engagement with the staff. In addition, this also has a way, I spend a lot of time looking at policies and how it affects decisions that I'm going to make. And this is going to make me spend less time so I can be out there.
Efficiency.
Efficiency. But it's really about me and doing my work.
Okay.
Doing my work and being visible and showing care and trust in a way that does not make me have to hire a person.
Okay, Fair.
That's all.
thank you.
Thank you, Liu.
Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify in the description, this is just a module that adds on to our
Yes,
existing,
that's
and it's, so it's just like a little bolt-on
Yes,
thing,
yes,
so to
yes,
speak.
nothing
Okay,
new. Yeah.
terrific, thank you.
I mean, new, but yes.
Oh, Antoinette.
I don't want to.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, wait, you picking somebody else?
No, go
No,
ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if Slavic could figure out how to do this, that it wouldn't cost us $6,000?
It's possible. I don't know yet. Slavic is actually quite booked. Slavic, I think I'm number, 12 in Slavic's list. Actually, Slavic is building us a lot of platforms, but not this one, not
So
just
this
yet.
would be $6,000 annually, or once you have it in place this year, you're gonna hopefully
Yes,
be
it's
able to?
it's the first to set it up, and then there is a subscription
Okay,
fee
so this is just
annually.
the flat rate for the,
Yes,
just to
just to get
implement
it
Okay,
going, yeah.
Thank you.
And Dr. Mammon, this isn't going to take the human out of the.
No, actually.
Okay.
So even now, I spend time finding out who just had a baby. I send personal notes. I don't want to say everything that I do, just to make sure that they know that we care, we see them, we wish them well. This gives me an additional way. They're my own words, but it helps me organize, right? So I'm not sitting there every day trying to figure out whose work anniversary is today, what's coming up this week, what policy do I have to look at? It allows me to kind of query and see what our policies are. And you saw, even with the first policy meeting we had over 70 pages worth of what we had to go through? 200. And even then, we're still trying to understand the nuances of the policies and what that looks like for us in terms of the regulations and how we are actually following policy rather than what we've always done, right? It's our practice. So it's because of that that I'm doing that. And we'll learn, and if it's something down the road, I know that Slavik and I have been talking about something that we need to invest in that would now allow him to do something like that, but that investment is over $40,000 for now. But like I said, Slavik is busy. Everybody, he's building us a lot of platforms. In fact, one of the ones, now that you're asking, is part of the one that I want on the website, so you'll see. So there's a lot coming up. Yeah? Okay.
Anything else on 9? Okay, 10, 11, 11? 10? 10? Go ahead, Leroy.
So this contract is given to a company in Georgia. So is there any way have local organization who can provide the athletic trainer service? In my mind, the trainer should be on site for whenever there is an exercise or training section. So this remote company can work for our local need.
So the address of Georgia, I believe, is just where their headquarters are. It's a national company, so
A
it is
national company,
actual
there is
people.
a local
Yes,
presence.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else on 10? 11? Wilbur and then Antoinette.
Okay. I was wondering if we get more details as to what the filtering will be with this platform that.
Aristotle.
Yeah,
Okay.
that 11 is covering.
So I'm glad, it's actually one of the things that we're quite proud of, because when I first started here, before I first started here, I got during my transition, there was a lot of talk about when our kids are not on our network, but using our device, we did not have any filtering system for them. So that way, we know what you're doing, the parents can lock it down, we've locked it, we can lock it down so that it's actually behaving as though it is on our network, even if it's not, but for the fact that it's our device. That's what Aristotle allows us to do. Slavik has been instrumental, we keep calling Slavik, he's been really busy. It was one of the things I said to him, I was concerned, I did not understand why we didn't have that, but apparently it was budget-wise. But we've been able to stay within, reallocate, and still be able to do that. So that's what Aristotle is doing. It's going to filter. Second, another layer of filtering for all our devices. We've started deploying it, but we'll have something now when it's fully deployed for all our devices, including even that of staff. But most importantly, parents will be able to turn it on and stop them and see what their kids are doing or block them from doing other things, even if it's not on our network, as long as it's on our device. That's Aristotle. About this?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, too many questions.
No, it's okay.
So is this platform, so will be installed on every school issued device?
Yes.
Okay, who is going to monitor the filter result?
So the filter is not about monitoring, it's blocking,
It's
right?
just blocking.
It
but
blocks-
there's no reporting. Is any
No,
reporting?
we see what's going on. We see what's going on. We can run reports.
Okay.
The district can, yes.
So basically, which person? Is you or
No.
the info department?
You know what, Leewoo, you pay me way too much
I'm
to sit
sorry.
here. Slavik and his team,
Okay.
yeah.
So if any,
They wouldn't even be able to. I could tell you that even the initial test of it, we were able to already see what kids were up to.
Okay.
So that is we will see that.
Yeah, for certain things,
No comment.
yeah, for certain things related to security, for example, so we need to pay special attention to the result. That's
It will,
why I'm
yes,
asking
it will
for-
flag us to the extent that it can, and will follow our protocol that we normally would anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Antoinette?
Would you be able to give us some examples of some of the websites that are going to be blocked? I know a big complaint from parents, especially for the
YouTube.
elementary ones, are the YouTube access.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to still have access to YouTube, even if they're not?
YouTube, we not full. My understanding, Slavic, feel free. It's not. They wouldn't have open access to YouTube, right? And so I know that was one of the things that they've talked about. So it's. I think the YouTubes that are tied to educational value, they will have access to. But beyond that, it's not one that they can just.
So they can't just
Search.
scroll a certain.
No, we're blocking some of those.
And the parents do have the option to not even allow them to go on YouTube when they're home, because I think that's what, okay.
Yes, that's what Aristotle lets us to do.
Thank you.
And Dr. Marin, I know that you've made an effort to move away from devices when feasible, but there's no way to eliminate them entirely. It's just the world that we live in. And I just want to say thank you for putting this in, because I know one of the reasons that people don't like devices, aside from, kids are forgetting how to write.
We're working
But,
on that.
yeah.
Cursive writing,
Yeah.
third grade.
Yeah, but it's because of the safety, and
Yes.
this to me was so important to have, because it's like having a school without a security officer. This is literally like a virtual school where we haven't had a security officer. So the fact that we've done this for so long is just incomprehensible. So thank you for making a effort,
Thank
a
you.
very big one, to do this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15?
50.
I feel like I'm at an auction. I need this thing. 15, 15.
So for this E-rate category, the funding, so we got 50% of our actual cost. So I understand this related to the number of students and the number of square feet of our library system. So is this 50% the maximized our share? Can we get more from this?
No, so this is, and again, like it's kudos to Slavic night. So, he's been a very big, contributor in ensuring that we're maximizing what we get for E-rate. So, this is the max under this program, and there's different tiers, and it gets a little bit it's a lot complicated. This is the max we can get for this type of purchase through the E-rate program.
And just to kind of piggyback on that, this is 50 switches, but we have how many in total?
Approximately 250.
Right.
So, we're going to be doing a rotational basis. They tend to last 7, 8, 9 years. The newer ones seem to last a little bit longer. So that's also part of the process of ensuring that we don't replace all 250 in 1 year, because that would be a huge hit on the budget.
Anyone else on 15? All right, 16, 17.
I have a question. Sorry, this might be a little nitpicky, but in the description for this contract, it's referring to the Wiser Boost platform, which is a cybersecurity awareness and training platform. But under the recommendation, it says the Wiser Boost cybersecurity platform, which sounds like a very different thing. I just want to clarify if this is really just a training platform.
Yes, it is a training platform. It's going to help us. It costs up front, but it's going to help us
Right.
with our insurance.
Yeah.
And also, I know most crimes are now being committed through here. You don't hear about people getting robbed, thank God, too often at gunpoint anymore. But it's all through the cybersecurity. So it's been one of Dr. Mammon's priorities to ensure that, we're not, we're doing everything we can to safeguard ourselves from those cyber attacks. So this will help out tremendously.
Okay, so would it be more accurate under the recommendation that would boost boost cybersecurity awareness and training platform like it says up in the description? I don't know if I'm being too picky on this.
Yes, you are, but
Okay.
it's okay. It's the Wiser Boost platform, but the company is Wiser Inc., right? So it's one of their products under Wiser Inc., if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Sure. All right.
Thanks for that.
How will the staff be getting the training?
So I'm going to hold off on that, but you will get a cybersecurity presentation in closed session at the next board meeting.
Because it's security.
Because it's security.
Anyone else on 17? All right, 18? 18?
No.
Oh, 19, 20, Antoinette.
I actually just wanted to find out, I saw that FEMA was listed at $0 in the report. I was wondering if you guys ever got that reimbursement that Tara had submitted for.
So it's still pending ever since the government shut down. I know they're operational now, but it's kind of like just, But we have not forgotten. We're still actively working with the township. So hopefully we can get something going and try to recoup some of that money.
21, 22, 23. Just call out because I can't
okay.
look both sides. 22.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to 24.
Oh, 23. 24.
Yep.
Okay, Wilbur and Jamie.
Okay. So I just want to acknowledge the efforts of the students on this award. This is for the EBHS Video Production Club, receiving an award for a video titled "Don't Drive Dangerously." They've been awarded $1,000, which is great. But I think what's even better is that this is a clear example of peer-to-peer messaging, which, as we all know, is one of the most effective ways of communicating messages to our students when it comes from their peers. So kudos to the students for putting this thing together.
Jamie.
Yeah, congratulations to the students. It's tremendous when our students are recognized for their excellence. I was just curious, are we able to see this video? Is it available anywhere?
I was wondering that too.
I can get it for you. Thank you.
Oh.
I would love that.
You know
Thank you.
someone?
Ooh. I
Do you know
always like
someone on
to
the
see
board?
the work we're supporting. I'm proud of everything they do. Thank you.
Yes, oh gosh, I used to work for the Middlesex County Department of Health, although I don't oversee, I never oversaw this grant or this program. I do know the people that work in this department, and I will ask for it.
Okay. 25, 26, 20.
Question on 26. So this is for the funding for optimal comprehensive universal screeners. I was just wondering if we could get some information on how we're monitoring the use of these screeners in terms of, say, frequency and making sure that the screeners are being used as intended and that we're not leaving out other screening procedures for students that might have needs that are not covered by the ones in this. Yeah.
The screener that we adopted is the DIBBLES, and the teachers are implementing that 3 times a year, K to 6, for all students. And this grant will go towards offsetting the costs for the purchase.
And I think there's been a lot of talk about the screeners as though it's a first step. It identifies different groups, and then there's more. So there are different things. So it's like, I don't know, what's a good analogy?
So, can I?
Yes, please.
So a screener is like going to CVS and sticking your arm in the blood pressure cuff. Diagnostics are going to the physician and getting the full panel.
Oh, Jamie. I like that. What she said.
I was reading your heart. Oh.
All right, using that analogy, when did the doctor let the patient know the progress? Because I'd like to know for the 26-27 school year, how often will parents be receiving progress reports? I know they're doing the dibbles 3 times a year. In between those 3 assessments, I know that parents don't want to be the ones to reach out to find out, so are we offering
The parents should
a
not be
calendar?
the ones.
Right,
to-
so
Yes.
but that wasn't happening, so I want to know how often will the parents be communicated with?
After the Dibbles administration, we're required within 30 days to provide the results of those assessments. And then if the student is flagged, there'll be additional assessments done, and the teacher, the reading specialist, the building principal will be communicating with the parents in all the buildings.
And that's when the students are falling in the red category, I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
red or yellow.
So the parents should not feel they need to communicate. That should be
Absolutely not.
happening. And if the parents,
Yes.
and if that's not happening, then the
They
parents.
should call me.
Call you, okay. Call Dr. Bully.
Call Dr. Bowley, email Dr. Bowley. Not me.
And Dr. Bowley, so as Antoinette said, this hadn't been happening this past year, and that was our first use of dibbles.
I think
but-
it was inconsistent.
Okay, so the expectation then for this year is that, that was a learning curve and things should be better for this year?
Yes, that's the expectation.
Okay, thanks. Anyone else on 26? All right, 27, 28, 29, 30,
30.
30, also 30, yes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, wow, I feel like deja vu because I remember talking about this like the last time it came up last year. So this is for the renewal application for the TCUs. Sorry, thank you. I just, for community or public awareness, I know that there's always the concern that we only have a certain number of years to use them and that our application might not get renewed and they might not be able to stay, then what will we do? But we don't believe that that would be the case, right?
No.
Like,
So when a temporary classroom is put into place, you have to get pre-approval. That approval lasts for 5 years. And then after that, every year you have to get a renewal. There are school districts, and we used to have trailers behind Hammersholt before we built the new Hammersholt, and they were quite old, and they were trailers. These are not trailers, all right? They're
Right.
temporary classroom units. I mean, it's a really nice building. I live in Jackson. They have trailers that are older than me. I know I only look like
You're
I'm
young.
20,
No.
but, so, it is a process. Whatever was previously communicated, we don't need to go back.
right,
This is the process. You get a 5-year permit, right, to use those. You're investing a lot of money for these temporary classroom units. You get 5 years, and then you have to renew. And eventually, we will have a plan to move forward and see what we do. And hopefully have all 9, 10, 11, 12th grade at the high school. But this is just part of the process. And it's being done timely this year.
okay, perfect, thank you. Not to go backwards, but I'm gonna go backwards, only it's because I asked this question last year and didn't get it, but can we see the letter that was sent October 1st, 2021 to Kyle Anderson regarding the reason for TCUs being put there?
I can do my
You
best to
can see
find
if you
it.
can find it? Okay, thank you. And then, Dr. Kinross, I know at one of our recent meetings, we talked about the high school and some early discussions. I know our next step was gonna be to have the architect or other people come and talk to the board.
Yeah.
And just wondering time frame on that.
The architect will be here at the next board meeting.
Perfect.
Based off of various questions and to take the previous presentation that I did to the next level. Right? So that's planned for the 20th.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Lori. Jamie?
Just a quick comment. When we call these temporary classroom units, these have infrastructure though. They have plumbing, they have electrical. It's just not a poured foundation per se, or like a block foundation. So that kind of makes some of the differentiation of why they're called temporary.
Yeah, they are actually on a block
They are.
foundation, but they're not permanent.
Sure.
You know, but they're connected. It's not like the students have to leave one unit to go into the next. There's a hallway. There is all the infrastructure. I believe there's 26 units in total, but you wouldn't be able to look at that structure and say there's 26 units. It looks like it's one unit.
Sure, and that's was kind of my point. I think, you know, some of us haven't seen them, like I've never set foot in them, but understanding what they are, I think is important. They are set up to be comfortable. They are able to endure beyond the 5 years because we have the infrastructure supporting it.
They're nicer than
So-
the building,
Yeah,
actually.
of course.
Yeah,
I
they're-
won't make any remarks. I never disparage our schools. I just remember before the high school buildings were connected, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
Oh, I never did nefarious things behind the gate, don't worry. I was not a gate kid. Yeah, the gate, we'll have to take this offline. This is not board appropriate.
and when we were at school boards last year, they actually build full buildings out of these. So I think that word temporary is subjective to what you intend to use them for, because if they were intended to be like a full story building, that could be there forever and you wouldn't have to file this. So I think that letter was probably based on intent, not on what the building is actually capable of, to Jamie's point. Yeah.
Quick question, can we arrange for a tour of the high school in advance of the next meeting?
Yeah, we actually.
Sure, yes, I would love that.
Can we include the maintenance team on that tour?
Sure,
Or
we can make
member-
that happen.
Cool.
Yep.
Can we go in the basement and,
No, you
There's no
cannot.
basement.
there's not a basement?
No.
There's a basement.
Can we, okay, that's
We
fine.
don't
We have a
Did
basement?
you have a basement in the
We
high
have a
school when you were in high
basement.
school?
We have a basement.
There's a lower gym.
No, in the high school?
In the high school.
Isn't that where the old swimming pool was? No, that was, oh my gosh, I did not just say that. That's sorry, Evelyn is staring me down. It was a legend, just legends, that's all.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. All right, anything else on 30? Okay, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay. This is also a roll call vote.
Okay. Anna Brown,
Yes,
Timothy Cummings,
Yes.
Antonetta Vola,
Yes.
Jamie Falco,
Yes.
Lori Herrick,
Yes.
Lee Woo Hung,
Yes.
Wilbur Pan.
Yes.
Mary Ann Tenium.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, we are on to curriculum and instruction, items 1 through 4.
So moved.
Lori? and-
Second.
Oh, Wilbur? Lori and Wilbur. Okay. Antoinette?
Same as my other question, I just want to know how and when the staff will receive the training. For those of you who don't know.
What item number?
Number 4. It's it's the contract for Jen Aline Associates. The staff development program provides professional development opportunities to meet the need of the district's diverse learning community.
Yeah, this is actually specifically for, I'm gonna let, but this is specifically for our administrators.
Okay.
It is to help our administrators recognize literacy instruction, what good literacy instruction looks like. Walkthroughs, questions to ask, how to pull that data. Because don't forget, we talked about how we were going to address our needs that we saw in multiple ways. So we're training teachers, they're coming for summer training. We've done CKLA adoption, we are filling the gaps here. So as leaders, we also need to kind of fill the gap, because it's not like I have a supervisor in every building or a coach in every building, so it's all hands on deck. But we can't ask people to do what it is that we have not spent time to kind of define, so that we're speaking a shared language and we can recognize and do that work together. So this is actually specifically for our administrators to help out.
Administrators of the elementary or upper elementary also?
For the most part, we're starting with the elementary, but she will provide instructional coaching for the administrative team and help us really actionalize the strategic plan.
I like it.
So I'm pretty excited about working with her.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
And would it help so that these are some of the things, because I keep hearing Mrs. Ubola talking about when is this happening, when is it, is this some of the things that the board would like to see us report on, like say quarterly or something? Will that help?
I think it would be helpful because we could even share the feedback that you're getting in these workshops. So,
Okay,
yeah, so
All
this way
right.
at least the parents know what's happening.
okay.
And just one thing that came to mind, it would be good to also just report on, try to quantify the training that's been that's been done as well. So whenever this report would say we've done 12 hours since the last time, because it's always good to, I think, put numbers on this sort of thing.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, so this is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. All right. Human Resources, items 1 through 3.
Move.
Second.
Jamie. Wilbur, Jamie. Thank you. Okay, discussion? No discussion.
How's this Walden University agreement working?
How's it working, Nicole? It's fine.
It works great. So we have an intern coming in, a social worker, and they go to Walden University. So we have an agreement with the college about what we will provide, what the college will provide, and to ensure the student is receiving coaching.
So it's early stages. This is the first time we.
Yes, early stages. Right? We're in the early stages of this.
We haven't worked with them in the past.
We have not worked with
No.
them
That's what I
in the
mean.
past.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Oh, it's okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is
thank
the
you.
first time we're working with Walden for this program.
Cool. Thank you.
It's a real school. I got my postgraduate degree from there. Lots of, really, it's, I have it on my diploma and everything. You know, we have a number of teachers who have gotten postgraduate degrees from Walden.
Awesome. All right, I think this one is a roll call vote.
Anna Braun,
Yes.
Timothy Cummings.
Yes.
Antonetta Bola,
Yes.
Jamie Falco,
Yes.
Lori Herrick.
Yes.
Lee Woo Hung,
Yes.
Wilbur Pan,
Yes.
Mary Ann Teniers.
Yes, motion carries. All right, Student Services, items 1 through 9.
Move.
Wilbur?
Second.
Jamie. Discussion?
Just a quick remark for item 6. It's really nice to see that we have the ability to be inclusive for everyone because students may have different learning abilities based on sight, auditory processing, and being sensitive to that, having contracts that take care of our most vulnerable makes me really proud to be in this district. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. Anyone else? Wilbur.
So for items 8 and 9, the monthly school reports, in terms of the incidents, could we maybe compare this to what happened where we were last year at this time? I don't know if we have the information handy.
This is, remember I did a report, and I said I was gonna do the other, it ended in January, and then, I think I do that in the fall or something, then I could be comparing that for you, right?
That's good.
Antoinette?
I was gonna ask for the same exact thing, actually. Only because I wanna see if whatever interventions they are offering for these incidents are working. Because I do see a lot of students, which I don't think I've seen this many as I have this year, students cutting school in a Churchill, 7th graders, 8th graders. I didn't even know that you would attempt, like, how are they attempting to do this? Well, I asked I did a little investigating, and the kids are just walking in the holes. So I'm just wondering if there's more being done than just asking them where they're supposed to be. Why are the students not afraid to get caught walking in the holes, cutting class?
I have to look into that. Okay. Anybody else? No? Okay. So this one is a roll call vote.
Anna Braun,
Yes.
Timothy Cummings.
Yes.
Antonetti Vola.
Yes.
Jamie Falco.
Yes.
Lori Herrick.
Yes.
Lee Woo Hung.
Yes.
Wilbur Pan.
Yes.
Mary Ann Tanya.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, we are on to committee reports, information items, and for the good of the cause for the board. We will start, where did we start last time? We'll start with Anna? Okay, Anna.
Okay. First of all, happy birthday, America, 250.
Okay.
While the fireworks and symphony orchestra performance were, rained out, the orchestra and the fireworks will be happening on Labor Day weekend, so that has been rescheduled. And just a little history nugget here, that George Washington walked through East Brunswick. It wasn't East Brunswick at the time, it was just Brunswick. The entire Continental Army came through here on July the 1st of 1778, following the Battle of Monmouth, on their way to New Brunswick. Not only the Continental Army, but my heroine, Molly Pitcher, also came through here. Okay. That's it.
Hence the Molly Pitcher Inn.
Huh?
Hence the Molly Pitcher Inn, right?
The volley pitcher.
Oh, Molly Pitcher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lori.
I enjoy your history tidbits,
Yeah.
nuggets. Thank you. I leave here a little smarter. So I have a bit of a lengthy report because I'm going to give our subcommittee meeting notes from our curriculum committee meeting that happened on June 22nd here at the administration office. It was attended by board members, parents, administrators, and teachers. We looked at some old topics or old business from May. We continued our discussion regarding the timely return of student assessments. The administration reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that assessments are returned to students in a reasonable time frame. Departments will continue developing expectations over the summer to ensure consistency across grade levels. The committee discussed the continued development of common assessments. Departments will be working over the summer to create more consistent assessments so that students will be working, so that the students enrolled in the same course receive the same assessments regardless of teacher. This will provide opportunities to better analyze student performance, identify common areas of misunderstanding, and make instructional adjustments where needed. The committee spent significant time discussing assessment practices, including the impact of midterms and finals on instructional time, mental health, and grading. It was noted that preparation and testing accounts for approximately 16 instructional days each year. The discussion focused on balancing academic rigor with meaningful assessment practices. Feedback gathered from students, parents, teachers, and administrators suggested that traditional midterms and finals may not always accurately reflect student learning. The committee discussed a shift towards more frequent, meaningful assessments throughout the school year that provide ongoing opportunities to evaluate student learning, monitor mastery of content, and inform instruction. This approach would allow students to demonstrate their understanding over time while maintaining the high level of academic rigor expected in our classrooms. The committee also revisited concerns regarding multiple assessments being scheduled on the same day, but due to scheduling restraints, particularly with the AB block schedule, the district is not currently able to guarantee that students will not have multiple assessments on one day. However, there is a commitment to improving communication and coordination among departments and teachers to minimize these occurrences whenever possible. And I do want to say, based on the teachers and the feedback given at our last two subcommittee meetings, it has been that they feel that they've lost time to just network and talk to each other as teachers and staff over the past few years, and they believe that that has been a hindrance to them, right? Because they can't talk about, best practices for kids, how work is affecting them. And so I know there's a commitment on behalf of the administration and Dr. Mammon to ensure that, network and opportunities for discussion is provided for staff. We talked about block scheduling. So we discussed feedback regarding the current AB block schedule from both Churchill and East Brunswick High School. Information from focus groups that included students, teachers, staff, parents find that the longer instructional periods are challenging in terms of maintaining engagement and focus. Students are worried about missing work when absent, pacing challenges, while also recognizing that the additional day between classes can provide more time to complete assessments. Mr. Hannes expressed interest to begin researching alternative scheduling models, including reviewing current research and gathering stakeholder input through focus groups, as well as trying some alternate models at Churchill, and will report back to the committee in January with his finding and recommendations. We also touched base, we also talked a lot about the transition planning to Hughes. We started with special education and what their process looks like. We talked about general education students, just all students, how counselors can just help to identify any student who may be struggling with the transition process and what supports or reinforcement we could put into place. There was a really lengthy discussion, but I do want to let everyone know that for 5th and 7th grade orientation, parents will be able to attend with their students this year. So I think that will be helpful for parents, right? Because I think that's something we hear a lot of, especially for the 5th grade transition. So being able to attend orientation with your child will definitely be helpful. So that's 5th and 7th grade. The administration at Hughes also emphasized that the first few days are really intentionally focused on helping students become comfortable with the building, navigating classrooms, understanding arrival and dismissal procedures, not necessarily like what are you learning, how's your, finding your locker, opening your locker. They just want the kids to be comfortable with the building, the layout, and getting to your bus. At the end of the day, getting to your classrooms, finding your homeroom. So like those little things are what's really important to them. And so they really talked about making sure you celebrate those milestones with your student because they just want to try to make it stress-free. We don't want kids to be stressing about lockers in the first few days at Hughes. Counselors talked about how they gather student feedback regarding the transition, and that a lot of students report very positive experiences once they adjust, frequently providing feedback that supportive teachers, friendly security guards, a welcoming school environment, and increased independence help with the transition. They actually, one thing I remember they said was they were happy they didn't have to stand in line anymore. So like that was kind of cute. And then we kind of ended our meeting talking about student device usage, and we were kind of just beginning the conversation. We shared examples were shared illustrating how technology is currently integrated into classroom instruction. We discussed balancing technology with paper and pencil instruction, particularly in science and other content areas. We want our students to be hands-on. We ended our meeting at 8 p.m. promptly because it was a very busy week in the administrative world with graduation and a lot of end of the year stuff going on. The curriculum committee will not meet during the summer. We are expected to reconvene in September as a full committee, and we will continue to discuss topics. I'm happy to take topics from board members. I sent an email today outlining some of our discussions that happened at our meeting, and yes. So I know that more information is going to go out in the next few days about, what some assessment changes will look like, and so and further information will be forthcoming.
Yeah. Do you want to talk? Because I know Dr. Bully's going to send a communication, but I think it's important there's been a buzz in the community.
buzz.
So yeah.
What's
So I
the
think
buzz?
The buzz. Oh, we're getting rid of midterms and finals, and I don't want that to be the perception per se. I know that we're really trying to reevaluate the way that we assess, and I know that's been a goal of yours, so if
Yes.
you want to.
Yes, and early next week, I believe, I know we were going through over communication that would go out to parents next week. It is not so much getting rid of midterms and finals, but really looking at, is that what works best for our students right now? It doesn't mean that students will not take assessments. All those high stakes assessments continue, PSATs, SATs, ACTs, AP exams. But we want to actually assess kids more strategically, tied to standards, common benchmark assessments. Right now, our midterm finals account for 20% of a grade. And we just don't feel that that is, that is good for our kids now. We want to be able to teach them, continue to teach them those test-taking skills, which they've said works better for them when they do it more often, because teachers embed that in part of what they do. So we're making some changes. We've listened, we're learning. Students had input, and you read all about what that is. I know people are concerned. We're getting rid of midterms and finals. What does that mean? No more midterms, no more finals. So midterms and finals are just a kind of assessments, but we're just really being more targeted and then using that information in a way that we do not use midterms and finals. And I think that bears saying, right? So we're spending all this time doing this assessment so that it can inform the teacher's next steps, so that it can give us a profile of our kids in terms of what they're learning. Not only, we're not doing that in isolation. We have Linkit, a platform that's going to help us really create a profile of a student, tying not just their assessment, but their attendance, the behavior. It gives us a more holistic picture of our students and what we can do to support them. So I'm really excited that this forward thinking, would you say, Joyce?
I would, and I think that we also need to talk about student mental health, because it's very stressful taking these high-stake tests on these days, not to mention the instructional time that we're losing. So we'll be getting back about 8 days, which is big, and that's more time for teaching, more time for learning, and it's a better use of our time.
I think so. And those 8 days actually will be full days.
And it's actually more than 8 days, because they
Yes.
spend days on review, too.
Days on review, makeup. So we want to say 8 days conservatively is going back into instructional time. And that I'm excited about. It will be full days. It's not half days. It'll be full days. Except the end of the year, we'll still have the 2 days, and the calendar will reflect that. That's our internal calendar. Once the calendar is out, we kind of figure out marking period. That we'll do. And so, I ask that people wait and see what we send out. Dr. Bowley will be sending communication out early next week, and then we'll continue to kind of address that. And you'll see better from us, right? I think I want to say that one of the things we talked about in our strategic plan development is accepting and saying, or accepting and acknowledging areas we're falling short. It's not a why, we're not blaming, it's about systems improvement. When there is a need, we see a need to improve, it is incumbent upon us to do that on behalf of our kids. Our kids are watching us, right? And so that's what this is. This is not we're not good, or this person, we've done that, we failed. No, we haven't. But this is saying that times are changing, we're seeing things, and we're responding accordingly. Mental health, it really, and there are other ways to do it. So
I think we're one of the last in the county still giving midterms and finals, school districts.
Yes. Yeah, that was discussed at our committee meeting, looking at other schools, the outcomes that they've had from eliminating it. I know we talked, Dr. Bashir had really convened focus group with students over time, parents, teachers, staff members, and they talked about it. And I know that some of the student feedback was, I don't even study because I don't think I'm going to do well, right? I'm a poor test taker. And so it's going to bring down my grade. I already know that. So they go into it negatively thinking. Some students said, I study for the test. I study my review packet, and then when it's over, I forget about it, right? So that, like, they're using those resources to study for that test, and then it's over. But how else can we, having discussions and hearing from students to say, like, I'm not a good test taker, but I should be able to demonstrate my knowledge content in other ways, right? And the same when we look at how college tests or trade school, right? Like, those are hands-on or giving a presentation, demonstrating your skills. Like, how can we do that for students when we're supposed to be forward thinking? How do we provide the opportunity for them to have that space too, right?
And I think in addition to that, one of the things that was really telling is what some of the students had talked about in terms of that the midterms, getting ready for the midterms and finals is not where they learned not where they learned the test taking skills. That the test taking skills and the aptitude and the habits of mind happens in their day-to-day classroom interactions with their teachers and how their teachers engage them and get them prepared to think. And so that's what we want to really kind of hone in on, so.
And if I can just add to that, because a lot of this is like, yeah, we're asking our students for feedback, but we also, like, I did my own research, and the studies repeatedly show over the last 30 years that midterms and finals don't necessarily add any value. In fact, and I have the studies if anybody watching is interested, but recalling information like that isn't what increases learning. That's not how you retain anything. And like Lori pointed out, some kids have gotten so good at this that we used to call it back in my day, the toilet bowl method. You like put everything in for the test, you regurgitate it on the test, and then once it's done, you flush it all out of your brain. That doesn't really help our students. And so we're making, that's really what it's called. We're making, data-driven decisions. That's been our commitment as a board, I think, since the beginning, that this isn't just about feelings or, yeah, it's great to have like the feedback, and of course we consider that greatly, but these are data-driven decisions. I've talked to some experts in the field who also said that this only becomes even truer as we move into the next quarter of a century, because with AI, which is not going anywhere, aside from how anyone may feel about it, AI is not going anywhere. So the value of a student or their ability to retain information isn't based on being able to recall isolated facts. It's being able to critically think, right? Because AI might not necessarily be able to do that. So are we gearing the way that we assess them based on the worlds that they're about to live in, because this is only going to increase. So I think, this is, we're moving, it's innovative, we're moving into the future. I think I heard you say that, like that's the goal here. Yeah.
Awesome. Should I take over from here?
Yeah, take over.
All right. I love that these conversations are happening. I wish someone would have been having similar conversations when I was in high school, because I hated taking tests. I was terrible at it. All right, so I have a couple quick things for my updates. Community programs, the summer community programs. We get like a handful of these emails that there's these new programs that are being launched, and they're always awesome. I think we had a handful of families over during a World Cup game, and I was half paying attention to the conversation and half, just locked in on that game. And some of the parents were saying, I wish that these could come out earlier because I'm planning my summer for my kids in February. Is there any possibility that some of these we could be doing that? Are you with me on this? Is everyone on the? Yeah. All right, right on. So can we get some of those opportunities out sooner in the year, like calendar year, so that people could incorporate? People want to do them, but they can't because they've already put their kids and signed them up for camps and all that stuff. My kids included.
That's community programs.
So, Tim,
Yes, Jim.
that's a goal already.
Oh, good.
To try to get things out earlier, to get more on a rotation in a rhythm, right? And that is a goal that we've had some internal conversations with Anne Marie and her team about cataloging. It's funny how over 20 years of community programs, things have changed. It went from a book form to online to all electronic communication, but that electronic communication is no longer effective. So it's trying to revamp and find out, okay, what is the effective way? But getting information out soon, and that's going to change how we also do business and how we present stuff to the board, because we're always looking, the budget equates to what fees we charge. We need to be a little bit more advanced with that and say, this is what we're going to do, and this is the impact to the budget, instead of saying, oh my God, we need to fill this hole, so increase fees, because that delays things. It delays how we deal with vendors, it delays what we're charging, and it equates to less time for parents to react. And one thing that is equivalent, nobody can deny, there's more options, right? So we used to be the only game in town. The township does various programs now, so we're competing with them. We don't want to compete with them, but that's just reality. Various summer camps. Some parents just let their kids stay home on the devices all day, which we know is not effective. So we need to change how we're doing business to stay relevant and get the word out. So,
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for that. And then the other thing, and this is, I just want to point this out because I feel it's worth mentioning. There's a dear member of our community who I don't believe lived in East Brunswick, but Diane Hutchins, who some people may know, who passed away tragically over the weekend. And she was the head of Aldersgate, the community outreach. And just an incredible spirit and a true loss for humanity. So I did feel it was important to mention her this evening because I know that she impacted lives here within our district and within our community and across the Middlesex community, if not beyond that as well. But so much of what was encompassed in this report tonight about the people that we're trying to create and the spirit that we're trying to foster was exemplified in her presence. So I just wanted to call her name out as a way of honoring what she did for the world. So that's all.
Thanks, Tim.
Just a few things. I just want to mention a couple of events that are really town events in town, but they do involve a lot of our students. One is the VFW 5K that's happening on Sunday. That's always a good time. Second is summer theater camp, which a ton of our students participate in. And I just want to mention that Mean Girls is going to be what they're putting on August 5th and 6th. That should be a lot of fun. Tonight they were doing SpongeBob, but we're here, so what can you do? And then finally, I just realized that graduation happened after our last board meeting. So this is our first board meeting since graduation. So I just wanted to say congrats again to the high school students that are moving on to bigger and better things. So that's it.
Thanks, Wilbur.
I just want to report the Mayor Cohen's Charity Fund. We proudly support our students. At this time, we give a check to the cheerleaders so they can cheer with the new uniforms, and we'll give a grant to our dancer team so they will have their new uniform too. So we'll have our annual gala that will hold in Park Chateau on December 8th. So if you can purchase ticket now, you'll have very good discount for early bird. So we raise the money to help our community. So many students in our school district, since this charity fund was initiated, we helped many hundreds, maybe thousands. I don't have the count, but we help our students. We raise money from our local residents, with local business, but all the money we raise is structured help people within the boundary of East Brunswick. So last year we gave award to Diane, so for her outstanding community service. And you will see that we already chosen the honorees, but let's wait and see who they are. So please think about join us to help us to raise some fund to help our students. Thank you.
Thanks, Lulu. Jamie?
Just to piggyback on that, the charity fund usually does sell out. So if you're interested in attending, get your tickets early. As far as there was a policy meeting on June 23rd. Strauss Esme provides guidance. A lot of it's updated language. There were updates to different policies that protect staff regarding sexual harassment, different things, how to obtain a high school diploma. All of these are in the agenda, and they're probably on the Strauss Esme website if anyone wants to read the language. Being that it's summer, I did want to thank the students who put on the SpongeBob musical. My son attended, and he's a little wiggly worm, and he loved it though, and sat through it. Similarly, I just want to wish everyone a good summer. I'd wanted to express my condolences about the loss of a great person in our community as well. Diane was loved and respected, and the things she did for our town, I don't have words for. And not just in the deeds she did, but in the spirit she brought. You know, it's a hard loss. And then back to the schools. I just want to thank everyone for all their hard work. You guys don't see it, but everyone up here, especially administration, is probably working just as hard as they do during the school year. A lot of hours, a lot of time are spent preparing for this next year. So thank you for all of that time.
Tim, I was devastated when I saw she passed away this morning. I worked with her, so every year for my birthday, instead of going to dinner with my friends, I always organize an Aldergate donation. So it'll be pantry food or clothing, and I would always email back and forth with her. And no matter what the time was, you're getting a response. So that was a huge loss to the community. So I was, I'm glad you mentioned that. I wanted to bring up too, the VFW 5K obviously is this Sunday, but I was so impressed with the amount of students that we had standing up at graduation that were deciding to defend our freedoms after high school, and they were going to serve the country. So sometimes people forget about the veterans. So if you are not a runner, which I am definitely not, clearly, you can still register, and the fee will still go to the veterans. So if that could be your pay it forward for the week, definitely do that, because it does. No, I'm a walker. I walk, but all of the money goes back to the veterans. So definitely sign up if you can. There's something very special I wanted to talk about on August 16th. There's going to be this is actually the 12th annual Patrick Awasagwa Wiffle Bowl tournament. He was an East Brunswick student, and 12 years ago he passed away playing basketball at Rutgers unexpectedly. So his best friends were obviously devastated, and they always played wiffle ball together. So they started real small in their backyard, and it's grown into, I think last year we broke a record. I'm not part of it, but I was playing wiffle ball. But they broke a record of how many people signed up. And what is amazing about what they do is the money that they raise goes to 2 scholarships for East Brunswick students that exemplify what he was. And it goes to two students in the athletics department. So if you are a wiffle ball player, or you know someone who is, definitely follow their Instagram page. You can reach out to me directly and I'll give you the link. They have the link to sign up on there. And it's a fun day. I lose every single year, and so do my kids. But there's people who actually really play wiffle ball seriously. But it goes to a good cause. I was actually really impressed when we got to see it presented at senior night. When I got to see it given to the students, so definitely support him. On a different note, I'd like to know when we'd be getting an update on the special education audit that we have going on right now.
Oh my goodness, we talked about this. Louise and I talked about it. If you remember, I said it would, they have until the fall.
Okay.
Based on how they started, but we're already seeing preliminary reports.
Okay.
But definitely by October, November-ish, you will get
That will be the, okay.
Yes, yes.
And then one last thing that I wanted to discuss, now that there's no conflict. Are we doing anything to address the recess at Hughes, at Hammersholt? Specifically when the students are in the jam pack?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have more information than that? Because I'm getting a lot of, even though I'm not there anymore, I'm still getting a lot of people reaching out, especially the incoming fifth graders. Those parents want to know, what is that like?
Yeah, so incoming fifth graders, I believe the orientation is, I just went to 26th of August, so you'll hear more about what that is. But and I think we talked about this earlier in the year about the jam pack and not having, and as of, I think, towards the end of the year, I want to say May, or the Mr. Petrunco and I talked about kids not being in the jam pack watching movies during recess. That he was already kind of working towards that, if that's what you're talking to me about. Or beyond that.
Well, I'm talking about the days there's inclement weather or when it gets colder. There's really not anywhere else to put them, but they go there in the cafe, and then they have the gymnasium or the media center. But
We talked about that, and they were going to explore what the possibilities could be.
Okay.
But it is not anything that is concrete yet, other than we really don't want them sitting there watching.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, especially we don't want them on devices all day, and then they're sitting there
Well,
watching.
there are no more devices bell to bell, so.
I know.
Okay.
And I want to thank Lori and Jamie for your excellent updates on your committees. I'm not in them, and I felt like I was a part of it, so thank you for that. Yeah, I barely had any questions for either of those because it was very informative, so I just want to appreciate the work you put into sending those informative emails. Thank you. And have a good summer, everybody who's watching. I don't think anyone's watching.
They're watching.
Okay, all right. I won't be long, but I just want to say thank you to piggyback off what Jamie said. School may be out of session, but this board and this administration certainly are not. I know, we've been having policy committee meetings, curriculum discussions. There are things happening behind the scenes, and I know Dr. Mammon is doubling down because this is her first. First full school year, yeah. So this is it's almost like hitting the ground running because September isn't that far away. So thank you. I know it's been every time I call, she's like, I'm in a PD, I'm in a meeting, I'm in a something. So I know there's lots going on here, and thank you to you and to your team and your cabinet and to this board who are, as a reminder, volunteers and are doing this on their. People are out walking and they're calling me and they're at the pool with their kids and they're just telling me like, this is what's going on, this is what I think, this is, so it's nice that everybody's so involved. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you at our next board meeting, August 20th. And that's it. So enjoy the rest of summer for now, but we'll see you then, and then more to come. All right, motion to adjourn.
Move. Second.
Jamie Wilbur. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Have a good night, everyone.
Yeah.